This is the Aptitude Outdoors podcast, where we interview conservationists, hunters, anglers, and outdoorsmen and women to bring you the greatest stories, information, and advice from the best in the world. I don't know about you, but I always carry a knife. It doesn't matter what the situation is, I'm always reaching for a blade. Whether I'm out hunting in the backwoods, fishing on lakes and rivers, or simply cutting rope at camp. And when I need a tool, I want something that's quality, durable, and handmade right here in the USA. I know that's something you're looking for as well, so go to maloneknives.com and get yourself something that's going to last and look damn good too. I'm a huge fanatic for handmade, high-quality leather and canvas products. In my opinion, they last longer, hold up better to the abuses of travel, and honestly, they just look really cool. That's why I use Badger Claw Outfitters. They've been making handcrafted products for hunting, camping, and travel since 2011, and that's right up my alley. Best part is they're made right here in the USA and are guaranteed for life. They've got everything from gun leather, belts, custom knife sheaths, wallets, duffel bags, leather and canvas pouches, everyday carry items, and more. Badger Claw Outfitters, made in the USA, built for the wild. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Aptitude Outdoors podcast. Thanks for tuning back in, rocking another solo episode for you here today. If you follow me on social media, you know that one of the first things I do every single day is I wake up, do a little reading. I like to have a big variety of topics that I can read about so that when I'm having these conversations with my guests, A, I'm informed, and B, I really just like to learn about wildlife, ecosystems, all that stuff because I'm a nerd. But I also try to work on myself a little bit too, do some reflection, read some things that really are going to help me put myself in a better mindset. It's the hardest part, honestly, of anything is just getting your mind in the right place, whether it's exercise, whether it's writing, whether it's reading. You got to just get yourself in a good mental place. And there's a lot of factors that lead into that, but it's something I like to do to start my day off right, even though it is a hard thing to do every morning. I literally have to talk myself into it. It's just something I need to work on and something I need to build. So to do that, started trying to take notes and be a little bit better about thinking about stuff that I read instead of just reading it for the sake of reading it and then forgetting about it immediately. So this morning I read something really hit home with me, and that's something I think about a lot, but it's something that is fleeting. It's very easy to forget. So I'm going to read this quote to you. I'm going to break it down into a way that really makes sense to me. So the quote is, "Everyone gets one life. Yours is almost used up, and instead of treating yourself with respect, you have entrusted your own happiness to the souls of others." And this is from Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, and that is from his book Meditations. Sorry, his book, he wrote it. I don't think it was ever supposed to get released, but if you're looking to read that book, it's really interesting. Thoughts from a very powerful person. It would be like the emperor of the world, essentially, at that point in time, and he's thinking about these topics. I mean, who better to think about stuff like that than the most powerful person at that point in time on the planet? And that is from book 2, part 6, if you are into that thing. So I broke this down to me, how it made sense. I broke the quote down. So we'll start with everyone gets one life. So you only get one go around. You only get one shot. This is not a video game. You know, there's no redo. There's no respawning. This isn't Call of Duty. You get one shot at this. For some people, they get 100 years. For some people, they get 70. For some people, they get 20. It's not up to you. You get one go. And, you know, I think about this every day. What am I dedicating that limited amount of time I have to? And for me, you know, that's becoming the best outdoorsman I can, the best conservationist I can. And that means working on understanding wildlife, habitat, means working on understanding how I can become a better hunter, a better fisherman, how I can get better at the skills that go along with those, which are understanding habitat, understanding ecology, understanding how these animals operate. Also, being a proficient hunter with my weapon, whether that's a bow, whether that's a shotgun, whether that's a muzzle loader, whatever that is, I am working on those skills as well, and also working on putting myself in a mental place to be able to do these things when they're difficult, because they are difficult. So I also really try to work on becoming better at clarifying the things that I say to you as my listeners. I've been told by friends, I'm always looking for feedback, and it's hard to swallow because I have friends that podcast and we constantly talk to each other like, hey, how can I stop sucking at this so bad? And one of the major things, which you all notice, I'm sure, if you listen to me talk at all, is I don't always clarify all my thoughts. So that's why I'm trying to start writing these down. And I also want to be able to clarify my questions to the experts so that they can relate the information better to you. And that's why I'm going after more guests who are experts in their field, because I usually am not the expert. I am just the curious listener. But at the end of the day, that's what I work on. Those are my goals every single day. And of course, I have a job. I also want to be really good at my job, which is also, podcasting and running media. So it all works together very well. I'm very lucky in that aspect, but I've also worked very hard to get to that point where I could do this as my job. I get a lot of time to think about this stuff because that's what I get paid to do. So you get one life, and the next part of this quote, it says, yours is almost up. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to die, but it is a very minute period. It might feel very long sometimes, but the older I get, the more it just flies by. Like, the days are like minutes at this point. It is insane. I don't even remember what I did last week. It's just a blur of time. So your time is almost up. Now, we all have this tendency to put everything off until tomorrow. And I used to do this a lot, especially when you're a teenager. It's easy to get into those habits like, I'm not worried about it. But I see a lot of adults who do this. And tomorrow is not a guarantee, okay? Like, an example is that a lot of people can relate to is I'll start working out tomorrow. I'll go to the gym tomorrow. I'm tired today. The thing is, you got to do it now. It doesn't matter if you're tired. Tired is a feeling. Feelings are not accurate. Feelings are your body's way of telling you that it doesn't want to do something, whether that's because it's going to suck. Working out sucks. Practicing shooting archery is fun, but it can suck when you're having a bad day and arrows are flying all over the place. You're losing arrows. You're breaking arrows. It can suck. But if you keep putting that off till tomorrow, when the time comes to act, you're going to be like, damn, I wish I would have put in that time. So tomorrow's not guaranteed. There's no chance. I mean, we could all die today. There's no tomorrow. You got to do it. You put off that elk hunt that you've been wanting to do your whole life, and that's your dream. Well, you're not getting any younger, and it ain't getting any cheaper. So you got to really make a plan and commit to it. That might mean not being able to buy the most expensive gear all the time and cutting back on stuff, which is a problem that we all suffer with if we're hunting and fishing. You know it inherently that it's hard, but that's not guaranteed. So what are you waiting for? I mean, you're going to wait till you retire and then you're old and then your body isn't physically capable of doing this stuff anymore. You got to do this stuff now. And that next season may never come. Your dream hunt may never happen if you keep waiting. And just because you're old or young doesn't mean tomorrow you're not going to wake up tomorrow. And it can be a scary thought, but it also should calm you down knowing that I'm going to take everything that I can do today that's in my control, that's in my power. I'm going to do that. That's why I wake up and I read, and I wake up and I write, and I go to the gym at the end of the day. Those are the three things that are... There's no other option for me. I do those every day. That is the only options. I don't give myself that option. And then I get as much work as I can do every day. And even recording podcasts, it's a lot of freaking work. I know everybody thinks it's like this fun thing that you get to do on the side. I mean, it is a full production. There's audio editing. There's this video editing. It's all being monitored by one person, that person being me. And it's sticking to a schedule and getting as much done as I can every day within reason. But also at the end of the day, shutting off and just being like, okay, I did as much as I can. I'm not going to work until 1 a.m. and ignore my wife and just ignore all my responsibilities, get as much done as I can.
Hey, what's up, everyone? James Appleton here, co-founder of Absolute Aid. Welcome to the Seek to Do More program. This program will help you help yourself by developing the daily habits that will elevate your entire life. Over the next 30 days, you'll complete the doers list every single day. And the doers list includes 1, do something physical. 2, follow and stick to your diet of choice. 3, read a real book. 4, further your education on purpose. 5, dedicate time to your spiritual life. And 6, dedicate time to your hobbies. So if you're ready to take a structured, proven approach to build the daily habits that will allow you to get the most out of yourself, your time, and your life every single day, the Seek to Do More program is your blueprint. So make a choice, commit to yourself, sign up below, and let's get started.
And the last part of that quote, which is the hardest for us all, I would guarantee you that this is the hardest for all of us because I know I have a hell of a time with it, says, and instead of treating yourself with respect, you have entrusted your own happiness to the souls of others. That's a tough one. And, in our current world we live in, we have social media. In past, it has been the newspaper or TV. All of these things make you feel kind of bad because you're not the guy on TV with the trophy animal, or you're not the billionaire, and you're thinking, what am I doing wrong? Well, you're not doing anything wrong. You just have to do the things in your life that are important to you. To me, that's the outdoors. To me, that is conservation. To me, that's putting time in and hunting, hanging out with my friends who like to hunt, talking about all this nerdy crap. That, to me, that's the important thing. But too often we let people's thoughts about us make us feel bad. So, I'm a person. I'm a human being. I'm susceptible to this. You're susceptible to this. We're all susceptible to this. And the way I like to think about this is, say you're upset. You see a competitor, or if you want to think about things like that in your workplace, or you see the guy that's been going out at the same time as you and the same days as you on public land walks out with the buck one day, and you walk out empty-handed, and it upsets you and it ruins your day. Now imagine that a friend of yours came to you and said, dude, I'm so upset. This person that I'd never met before, that I don't know, commented something mean on my social media, and it really just made me feel bad, and it ruined my whole day. Isn't that a little absurd? Like, well, A, you don't know them, so what does it matter? And B, how does that affect your life in any way? Like, they're, in essence, they don't exist to you. They're just a nameless face on social media. I literally deal with it all the time. I just had this conversation with myself 20 minutes before I'm filming this podcast because some guy was like trying to argue with me on social media about the 10,000 hour rule. I made a short video about that and I put it out. He's like, that's not true. And I'm like, whatever. And like, you get upset because you take it personally because you made this thing and you're trying to be positive and put out things in the world to help people. And there's always negative people who have a shitty attitude. It's like, well, it is what it is. Like, this guy's life has nothing to do with me. So you got to think, that's how I think about it. Like if my friend came to me and told me this, I'd be like, dude, you're an idiot. What the hell does it have to do with anything? But when it's us, when it's yourself, it's hard. So that's how I think about that. And, yeah. Maybe you just have to like change the way that you take in the world, and it's very difficult. But like you also have to have your own realistic expectations. Maybe you have no desire to be a business owner. Maybe you have no desire to be a millionaire. Maybe you don't want to work in a high pressure job that just sucks your whole life in, and you don't have this big fundage. I fall into that category. I'm not very driven by cash, I'm driven by stuff that I love to do. And so maybe the elk hunt's a cool thing. Maybe from me being in the Midwest, Ohio, maybe the driving to Colorado and hunting elk, maybe that's off my list. Maybe in my mind, maybe that's not something I see as feasible. I believe it is feasible if you really want it bad enough, but that's an example. And that doesn't mean that you hunting a deer on public land near your house is less good than that. It just means it's a different goal. You don't have to be jealous of the guy out there doing that, because that's Maybe if you live there, you have a much higher chance of doing this, just like a normal thing people do there. Whereas here, maybe that seems really, really, really expensive. You have to spend at a minimum probably like $1 to $2 grand just to go out there, even as a solo hunt and get a tag and all this stuff. Maybe that's just out of your reach right now. So why is you getting a deer here bad? It's not bad. It's just different. Maybe there's dudes out there on private lakes catching 12, 14 pound bass, huge, monster, awesome specimens. But maybe a lake you fish on, the bass don't even get that big. Some of the biggest bass I've caught in a lake that I personally have access to, they're probably only like a pound or two, maybe 3. But the biggest bass I ever caught, I'm proud of them. Don't let people on social media who are just arrogant shitheads ruin that for you. You did that. You learned that. You put in the time to catch that fish. That's still awesome. So you have to just kind of step out of your own head sometimes, because it is a very competitive world. Humans are naturally competitive. I know people who say they're not competitive. You're competitive. You want to be the best. You want to win. Don't lie to yourself. But you have to step back and be like, does this matter? Does this matter to me? That's the thing at the end of the day. So like, you got to set your own goals, make your own happiness, because you only get one shot. Again, back to the beginning, you get one fucking chance to do it, man. There's no round 2. You have it under your control. You're the only one that cares. You're the only one whose goals matter to you. Probably your wife and your kid, your goals do not matter to them. You might want to catch a trophy, whatever, pike. Your wife's probably like, this dude's wasting so much money and time and effort on lures and all this crap for something that they would deem as dumb. But to you, that's all that matters. So you have to be the one that like builds your own happiness, your own goals, and what makes you happy. And that's it. You only get one shot. So just get out there and do this shit. Stop sitting on the couch and waiting around. Get your ass out there. Go make your life fucking awesome, dude. I'm so stoked about this right now. I hope you guys are getting something out of this. If you can, leave the podcast a rating and review on iTunes and Spotify. I want you guys to help me with that. And if you can, subscribe to the Aptitude Outdoors podcast and the Aptitude Outdoors YouTube channel. I'm working my ass off on some documentaries and stuff here that we're going to be submitting and showing you guys. It'll probably be a while before they come out. It's almost done, but there's a process, and I'm trying to actually like legitimize these as real documentaries and not just YouTube videos, which again, there's nothing wrong with YouTube videos. I've been doing YouTube videos for years and I love doing it. I'll still continue to make them. But again, pushing that goal line for me, that's what's important to me. So before I talk all day, thank you guys. I'll see you soon with another episode. If you haven't noticed, I've been pumping out more episodes because I'm just so fired up, ready to go full steam ahead with this stuff. So thank you guys, everybody that supported the podcast up to now and everybody coming in the future. Be back real soon with another one.